Chosen one. Why your solitude is a key to kingdom riches. Do you know why I repeat, chosen one? Why your solitude is a key to kingdom riches, chosen one. This moment did not find you by accident, and this season did not surround you without purpose. You have been walking through quiet days and silent nights, wondering why the crowd thinned, why familiar voices faded, and why your path narrowed instead of expanding. But what if this solitude is not loss at all? What if it is divine alignment, a sacred separation designed to prepare you for kingdom riches that require clarity, discernment, and spiritual weight? Anointed one, heaven does not entrust immense supply to distracted hands or unstable vision. Before supernatural provision arrives, God builds an inner economy within you. In the stillness, your hearing sharpens. In the absence of noise, your discernment matures. In the quiet, your trust transfers from people to divine source. This is not punishment. This is preparation. This is the forge where your capacity to steward wealth, influence, and responsibility is formed. Chosen one. The silence you felt was not emptiness, it was insulation. The loneliness was not rejection, it was calibration. And the waiting was not delay, it was mercy. Stay with this word, because what you are about to understand will change how you see your past and unlock how you receive what is coming next. If this resonates, stay connected, subscribe, and let your faith speak by commenting 777 as we step into this revelation together. Chosen one. The quiet you have been walking through is not random, and it is not a mistake. There is a reason the noise faded. There is a reason certain conversations stopped, invitations slowed, and familiar support systems thinned out. What felt like isolation was actually heaven closing the gates to distraction. God does not prepare vessels for kingdom riches in crowded rooms. He prepares them in silence, where motives are exposed, where dependence shifts, and where the soul learns how to stand without applause. Anointed one. I know this season has tested you. There were moments you questioned yourself, wondering if you missed something, if you waited too long, or if you were being overlooked. I have walked that road myself. There was a time when my life grew quieter instead of louder, right when I expected breakthrough. People drifted, doors paused, progress slowed. At first it felt like loss. Later I realized it was insulation. God was protecting what he was building before the weight of increase arrived. Chosen one. Solitude is not absence, it is alignment. In the quiet, your spirit recalibrates. You begin to hear without interference. You learn the difference between urgency and obedience, between opportunity and assignment. When the crowd is gone, discernment sharpens. When external validation disappears, internal authority rises. This is how heaven trains those who will handle wealth without being ruled by it. Anointed one, kingdom riches carry spiritual weight. Money in itself is not heavy, but what comes with it is influence, pressure, expectation, visibility. God does not release these things into a soul that still needs constant reassurance from people. That is why your support system had to shrink. Not because you are unworthy, but because you are being entrusted with more than comfort. In solitude, God teaches you how to trust provision without panic, how to move without permission, and how to obey without explanation. Chosen one, you are not delayed. You are being strengthened. Heaven has been watching how you handle quiet obedience, how you show up when no one claps, how you remain faithful when nothing seems to move. These moments matter more than visible success ever will. I remember days where nothing around me looked like promise. Bills still existed. Uncertainty still lingered. But something inside me was changing. Fear lost its grip. Desperation softened. Faith matured. That internal shift became the foundation for everything that followed. Anointed One. This is how divine wealth is stewarded, not through hustle alone, but through inner stability. God builds your capacity before He expands your territory. In solitude, you learn restraint, you learn timing, you learn how to say no to what looks good but feels wrong. You learn to wait without weakening. These lessons are priceless. Many people collapse under abundance because they never learned how to stand firm when they had nothing. Chosen One, hear this clearly. The silence you endured was heaven teaching you how to carry supply without losing yourself. The loneliness trained you to hear God's voice above every other voice. The waiting purified your desire so that when increase arrives, it will not replace your devotion. This is not about making you rich for comfort. This is about making you stable for assignment. Anointed One, you are closer than you think. There are shifts happening beneath the surface that you cannot yet see. Conversations are aligning, doors are being prepared, resources are being positioned, but heaven will not rush the release until your spirit is settled. I have seen what happens when blessing arrives too early. It overwhelms, it confuses, it exposes cracks that were never healed. God is too intentional to do that to you. Chosen One. The solitude was mercy, it was protection, it was love. It allowed you to confront fears without distraction, heal wounds without performance, and mature without pressure. You learned how to sit with God instead of running from discomfort. You learned how to trust without evidence. These are not small things. These are kingdom qualifications. Anointed One, as you stand here now, something is shifting. The season of preparation is nearing completion. The quiet has done its work. Your discernment is sharper, your spirit is steadier, your obedience is deeper. Heaven is not just about to bless you, heaven is about to trust you. And when God trusts a chosen one with wealth, it comes with alignment, protection, and purpose. Stay open, stay surrendered, stay attentive. What is coming will make sense of everything that felt confusing before. The solitude was not the end of your story, it was the foundation. Chosen One, there is a hidden work that only happens when no one is watching, and this is the work heaven has been doing in you. While others were busy being seen, being affirmed, being celebrated too early, you were being refined. Your life slowed not to punish you, but to deepen you. God was not impressed by how fast you could move. He was focused on how steady you could stand. In the kingdom, stability always comes before supply. Anointed One's solitude has a way of stripping illusions. When people step back, excuses fall away. When distractions fade, truth rises. In this season, you are forced to confront what you really trust, what you truly fear, and what still had power over you. I know this process is uncomfortable because I have lived it. There were moments I wanted noise back, movement back, anything to break the stillness. But the stillness was where God showed me how much of my confidence was tied to outcomes instead of obedience. Chosen One. The silence exposed what applause once covered. It revealed whether faith was rooted or borrowed, whether peace was practiced or just spoken. This is why solitude is dangerous for the unprepared, but sacred for the chosen. Many people avoid being alone because they do not want to hear what their soul has been saying all along. You stayed, you listened, you wrestled. That is why you are being trusted with more. Anointed One kingdom riches are not released to people who need money to feel safe. They are released to people who learned safety in God before money ever arrived. In the quiet, your nervous system healed, your reactions softened, your need to prove yourself diminished. You learned how to breathe without urgency, how to wait without panic, how to move without forcing. This inner reprogramming is not visible, but it is priceless. Chosen one. I remember a season when I had opportunities that looked perfect on paper. The timing felt right. The reward looked promising. But something in my spirit hesitated. In earlier years I would have said yes out of fear of missing out. But solitude had trained my discernment. I learned to honor the pause. I walked away from what looked good because it did not feel aligned. Months later, I understood why. That decision protected me from compromise I could not see at the time. This is the fruit of being alone with God long enough to recognize His voice. Anointed One Solitude teaches you that not every open door is divine and not every delay is denial. It trains you to value alignment over acceleration. Heaven does not rush what carries weight. Wealth without discernment multiplies problems. Influence without maturity magnifies wounds. God delays to save you from yourself. That is not control. That is care. Chosen one, your isolation was also strategic because God was reducing emotional dependency. Before wealth comes, attachment must be purified. Some people collapse under blessing because they still need approval, loyalty, or validation from the wrong sources. Solitude breaks those dependencies gently but firmly. You learned how to be okay when messages were not returned. You learned how to continue when encouragement was minimal. You learned how to stand without being carried. That strength is about to matter. Anointed one. The capacity to steward kingdom riches is not measured by desire, but by restraint. In solitude, you learned how to say no to impulse, how to delay gratification, how to choose peace over pressure. These disciplines are not glamorous, but they are foundational. God watches how you handle lack because it reveals how you will handle abundance. The way you managed quiet obedience qualified you for visible trust. Chosen one. There is also a spiritual clarity that only comes when noise is removed. In isolation, you became sensitive again. You noticed when something felt off. You stopped ignoring inner warnings. You began to sense alignment before logic confirmed it. This is not intuition alone. This is spiritual discernment sharpened by proximity to God. When wealth begins to flow, many voices will surround you. Offers will increase. Opinions will multiply. Only those trained in silence can hear clearly in crowds. Anointed one. The reason God hid you is because visibility attracts pressure. Pressure reveals cracks. God did not want your foundations tested publicly before they were reinforced privately. You were hidden so you could heal without scrutiny, grow without competition, and mature without comparison. I know it felt unfair at times. Watching others advance while you stayed still tested your heart. But heaven was not measuring progress the way you thought. Heaven was measuring readiness. Chosen one. There is a difference between being ready to receive and being ready to sustain. Many people can receive blessing. Few can sustain it without losing themselves. Solitude trains sustainability. It anchors identity. It builds internal boundaries that protect external blessing. When you know who you are without anything, you will not lose who you are when everything arrives. Anointed one, do not underestimate what God accomplished in you during this quiet stretch. You became less reactive. You became more discerning. You became less impressed by appearances and more sensitive to alignment. These are signs of preparation nearing completion. Heaven does not announce transitions loudly at first. It shifts internally before it manifests externally. Chosen one. You may not see it yet, but the atmosphere around you is changing. You are not striving the same way. You are not anxious the same way. You are not desperate the same way. That is evidence of transformation. The season that once felt empty is now pregnant with purpose. What was built in silence is about to support visible elevation. Anointed One, stay grounded, stay listening, stay surrendered. The solitude has done its work, and what comes next will require everything you learned when no one was watching. Chosen One. There comes a moment when solitude stops feeling heavy and starts feeling intentional. You may not remember the exact day it happened, but something shifted inside you. The ache softened, the urgency quieted, the need to explain yourself faded. That was not numbness, that was maturity. That was the moment heaven knew you were no longer surviving the silence, but mastering it. Anointed One. This is where many people never arrive. They endure isolation, but they do not extract wisdom from it. You did. You learned how to observe instead of react. You learned how to listen instead of rush. You learned how to wait without weakening your faith. That is not accidental growth. That is kingdom training. Chosen One. Wealth in the kingdom is not released to urgency. It is released to stewardship. God does not bless panic. He blesses trust. And trust is only formed when you have nothing to lean on except Him. In solitude, you discovered that God's presence was enough before His provision ever appeared. That realization rewired your spirit. Anointed One. I remember a season when my plans fell apart quietly, not dramatically, just slowly enough to make me question everything. The timeline I trusted dissolved. The certainty I leaned on disappeared. At first I felt exposed. But later I realized something profound. God was removing false certainty so I could learn divine confidence. One depends on conditions, the other depends on God. That shift is essential before elevation. Chosen. One divine confidence is calm. It does not need to announce itself. It does not rush. It does not compete. It knows that what is aligned cannot be missed. Solitude births this kind of confidence. When you stop fighting to be seen, you become secure in being known by God. And that security is what allows heaven to release weighty things into your hands. Anointed One. This is why solitude often precedes sudden shifts. Before God accelerates your outer world, He stabilizes your inner one. Many people pray for overflow while their inner world is still leaking. God seals the leaks first. He heals emotional wounds. He quiets comparison. He dismantles pride disguised as ambition. These are not punishments. These are preparations. Chosen One. The reason your journey felt different from others is because your assignment is different. Some people are built for speed, others are built for depth. You were shaped for depth because what you will carry requires it. Kingdom riches are not just finances, they are responsibility, they are influence, they are reach. God does not release these to shallow roots. Anointed One, solitude also refined your discernment around people. You began to notice patterns instead of personalities. You learned to sense intention, not just behavior. You stopped confusing familiarity with alignment. That growth came at a cost. You had to let go of relationships that felt comfortable but limited your expansion. That pain was real, but so was the protection. Chosen One. Heaven often removes people quietly before it releases provision publicly. Not everyone who loves you can walk with you into the next season. Some connections are only assigned for survival seasons, not stewardship seasons. Solitude helps you release without bitterness and detach without resentment. That emotional freedom is necessary before wealth arrives. Anointed One. Wealth amplifies everything. It amplifies joy, but it also amplifies unresolved wounds. God refused to amplify pain in your life. That is why he dealt with your inner world first. He confronted insecurity. He healed rejection. He exposed fear, not to shame you, but to free you. The version of you emerging now is steadier, clearer, and less easily shaken. Chosen one, I know there were moments when you felt forgotten, moments when progress elsewhere made you question your timing. I have sat in those moments. I know how tempting it is to compare behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel. But heaven does not operate on comparison. It operates on completion. God finishes what he starts, and he never rushes excellence. Anointed one, the stillness trained you to trust process over pace. You learned that slow does not mean stuck, and quiet does not mean inactive. Some of the deepest movements happen underground. Roots grow in darkness. Seeds break open in silence. You were not idle. You were becoming. Chosen one. This season also taught you how to handle uncertainty without losing peace. That is a rare skill. Most people need constant reassurance to remain stable. You learned how to stay anchored even when answers were delayed. That steadiness is essential when larger decisions arrive. Wealth introduces complexity. Complexity demands clarity. You are being equipped for that clarity now. Anointed one, there is also something sacred about the way solitude aligned your priorities. What once mattered deeply lost its grip. What once felt urgent no longer controls you. You began to value peace over approval, alignment over appearance, obedience over outcomes. These values are not popular, but they are powerful. They are the markers of someone heaven can trust. Chosen one. Trust is the currency of the kingdom. God does not give based on need alone. He gives based on trust. He entrusts resources to those who will not be ruled by them. Your solitude revealed that you could sit with God without demanding proof. That posture invites provision. Anointed one. The weight you carry now is different. It is quieter but stronger. You are less impressed by noise and more sensitive to direction. That is not withdrawal. That is authority forming. Authority does not shout. It rests. And when it moves, things align. Chosen one. What you endured privately is about to serve you publicly. The patience you learned, the discernment you developed, the restraint you practiced. These are not abstract qualities. They are the infrastructure for what is coming. Heaven never wastes seasons. Every moment of solitude was an investment. Anointed one, remain attentive. Remain surrendered. The shift you sense is real. What was formed in silence is now ready to be carried into visibility. Chosen one. There is a sacred moment when preparation quietly turns into positioning. Nothing dramatic announces it, no trumpet sounds. But deep within you begin to sense that you are no longer being shaped for survival, but being aligned for release. The questions that once haunted you lose their power. The anxiety that once pushed you to rush begins to dissolve. This is not coincidence. This is evidence that heaven is finishing its work beneath the surface. Anointed one, solitude did more than strengthen you. It recalibrated your relationship with control. You learned how to release outcomes without losing faith. You learned how to trust timing without demanding explanations. That lesson alone separates those who collapse under blessing from those who remain grounded within it. Wealth introduces options, and options test character. God does not release abundance until the heart is no longer addicted to control. Chosen one. I remember a time when I thought clarity would come before provision. I believed God would explain everything first, then move. Instead, clarity came through obedience, and provision followed trust. Solitude trained me to move without seeing the full picture. That same training has been forming you. You are no longer waiting for certainty to act. You are learning to act from alignment. Anointed One. Alignment is quieter than ambition. Ambition demands movement. Alignment invites flow. When you are aligned, doors open without forcing. Conversations unfold naturally. Opportunities arrive without pressure. This is the fruit of solitude. When the soul is no longer noisy, heaven can move freely through you. Chosen One. Many people pray for wealth but remain internally chaotic. Chaos attracts misalignment. Misalignment attracts counterfeit opportunities. God refused to let you build on unstable ground. He slowed you down so your foundation could be strengthened. That slowing was not denial, it was design. Anointed One solitude also revealed where you were still negotiating your worth. In the quiet, God confronted subtle compromises. The moments you agreed to less than you deserved. The times you tolerated misalignment to avoid discomfort. Those patterns were gently dismantled. You learned how to walk away without anger, how to say no without guilt, how to honor your spirit without explanation. That is maturity. Chosen One. This maturity is critical because wealth does not just increase comfort, it increases exposure. People project expectations onto those who prosper. Opinions intensify. Pressure multiplies. Only those anchored internally can navigate that environment without losing peace. God anchored you before He elevated you. Anointed One, your solitude also refined your discernment around timing. You learned that premature movement costs more than delayed obedience. You learned how to sense when something is ripe and when it is rushed. That sensitivity will protect you when opportunities accelerate. Not everything that arrives quickly is meant to stay. Solitude trained you to pause long enough to perceive truth. Chosen One. There is a spiritual principle at work here. God often isolates those He intends to elevate, so their identity is rooted in Him alone. When identity is secure, success does not corrupt it. When identity is fragile, success exposes it. Your identity has been fortified in the quiet. That fortification will soon matter. Anointed One. I want you to recognize how your reactions have changed. You are not as easily provoked. You are not as easily discouraged. You do not spiral the way you once did. These are signs of inner authority. Authority does not react emotionally to circumstances. It responds from conviction. That shift marks readiness. Chosen One. Readiness does not mean perfection. It means surrender. It means you no longer demand that God explain every step before you obey. It means you trust His nature even when His methods confuse you. That trust unlocks movement. Anointed One solitude also aligned you with divine timing rather than human timelines. You stopped measuring progress by speed and started measuring it by depth. That shift is essential because kingdom wealth is not seasonal income. It is generational influence. God builds generations slowly and carefully. Chosen One. There is something else solitude accomplished that you may not have noticed yet. It quieted your need to be understood. When that need dies, freedom is born. You no longer explain your calling to those who cannot hear it. You no longer seek agreement from people who are not assigned to your journey. That independence from validation is power. Anointed One power does not announce itself. It rests confidently. When you walk into rooms now, you feel different. You are not trying to prove yourself. You are present. You listen more than you speak. You move when prompted, not when pressured. That posture invites respect without demanding it. Chosen One heaven responds to that posture. God entrusts resources to those who will not idolize them. You have been taught how to hold loosely, even while believing boldly. That balance is rare. It was forged in solitude. Anointed One, as this season shifts, resist the urge to romanticize the quiet or resent the waiting. Honor it. It built you. It preserved you. It protected you from being seen before you were ready. Many people are wounded by premature exposure. God spared you from that. Chosen One. The silence you endured sharpened your ability to hear instruction. When heaven speaks, you recognize the tone. You know when to move and when to remain still. That discernment is about to guide you through expansion. Anointed One. Expansion does not always look like chaos. Often it looks like clarity. You will notice decisions becoming simpler, confusion lifting, direction narrowing. That is alignment consolidating your focus. Chosen One, stay grounded in what solitude taught you. The moment movement increases, remember the stillness that shaped you. The moment resources expand, remember the restraint that trained you. The moment visibility grows, remember the obscurity that protected you. Anointed One. What you carry now is not fragile, it is formed, and formation precedes function. Heaven does not rush what it intends to sustain. You are standing at the edge of a shift, not because you demanded it, but because you became ready to receive it without losing yourself. Chosen One. When heaven begins to move resources toward a life, it first confirms that the vessel can remain clean under pressure. Blessing is not dangerous because of its size, but because of what it awakens. Wealth awakens motives. Influence awakens insecurities. Visibility awakens old wounds if they were never healed. That is why your solitude lingered longer than you expected. God was not testing your patience. He was fortifying your integrity. Anointed One. There were moments in the quiet when you confronted parts of yourself you did not want to see. Subtle fears, lingering doubts, old survival habits that once protected you but could not travel with you into the next season. Solitude has a way of surfacing these things gently but honestly. I have sat in those moments wrestling with thoughts I thought I outgrew, realizing growth is not linear but layered. God met me there not with condemnation but with clarity. Chosen One, clarity is one of the greatest forms of wealth. Without it, money confuses direction. With it, resources align naturally. God was teaching you how to hear clearly before you were required to decide quickly. Many people make costly decisions under pressure because they never learned how to sit with themselves long enough to recognize truth. You learned that skill in silence. Anointed One, kingdom riches are often introduced quietly. Not all breakthroughs arrive with fireworks. Some arrive as peace. Some arrive as restraint. Some arrive as an inner knowing that you no longer need to chase what is meant to come to you. That shift has already begun inside you. You are no longer hunting validation. You are no longer begging doors to open. You are waiting with confidence, not desperation. Chosen One. This confidence did not come from success. It came from surrender. It came from nights when you prayed without answers and still trusted. It came from days when nothing changed externally, but something shifted internally. That is the kind of faith heaven responds to. Not performative faith, not loud faith. Quiet, anchored faith. Anointed One, solitude also taught you how to steward your energy. You became more selective. You stopped overgiving. You stopped explaining. You learned how to rest without guilt. These are not small changes. Energy is currency. How you manage it reveals how you will manage resources. God observed how you handled your strength before He released more. Chosen One. I remember a season when I said yes too often, thinking availability was obedience. Solitude corrected that misunderstanding. God showed me that discernment is obedience and rest is obedience. That lesson protected me later when opportunities multiplied. Without it, I would have burned out under blessing. The same protection has been built into you. Anointed One wealth tests boundaries. People feel entitled to access when success becomes visible. Only those who learned how to guard their inner world can maintain peace when outer demands increase. Solitude taught you how to say no without justification, how to hold space without absorbing pressure. That ability will preserve you. Chosen One. There is also a deeper spiritual reality unfolding. When God prepares to release kingdom riches, He realigns authority structures in the unseen. Old cycles lose permission. Patterns of lack are interrupted. Mindsets inherited through struggle begin to dissolve. Solitude broke agreements you did not even realize you made. Agreements with fear, with scarcity, with over-effort. Those agreements no longer govern you. Anointed One, the way you think about provision has shifted. You are less frantic, less reactive. You trust timing more than tactics. That trust opens doors strategies never could. I have watched provision arrive not because I worked harder, but because I waited longer and listened deeper. God honors alignment over effort. Chosen One, you are stepping into a season where provision flows through clarity, not chaos. Where doors open through discernment, not striving. Where wealth arrives as a tool, not a temptation. This does not mean ease without responsibility. It means responsibility carried with grace. Anointed One Solitude also prepared you for something many overlook: generosity without attachment. God cannot pour through hands that cling. In the quiet, you learned how to release without fear, how to give without losing yourself. That posture allows resources to move freely through you, not get stuck in you. Chosen One kingdom wealth is not about accumulation, it is about circulation. God looks for conduits, not containers. Your solitude purified your motives so that when increase arrives, it flows toward purpose, not ego. That purity matters. Anointed One, I know you wondered at times if the waiting would ever make sense, if the sacrifices were noticed, if the quiet obedience mattered. Heaven noticed everything, not just what you did, but how you did it. The restraint, the humility, the patience. These are currencies in the kingdom. Chosen One. There is a difference between being ready to receive and being ready to release. God trained you for both. You learned how to receive correction without offense. You learned how to release control without fear. That balance will keep you steady as things shift. Anointed One. The coming alignment will not feel rushed. It will feel right. You will recognize it not by excitement alone, but by peace that accompanies movement. That peace is confirmation. When God moves, He does not confuse. Chosen One, do not underestimate the authority you carry now. It was forged quietly. It does not need to announce itself. When resources align, when influence expands, when doors open, you will move without arrogance because you remember the silence that shaped you. Anointed One, remain faithful to what solitude taught you. The world may grow louder, but your spirit must remain tuned to heaven. Wealth will test focus. Influence will test humility. But you are not entering blind. You were trained. Chosen One. What was built in the unseen is about to support visible fruit. Not because you forced it, but because you became the kind of vessel heaven could trust to carry it without losing yourself. Chosen One. There is a sacred convergence happening now where everything you endured quietly begins to align visibly. Not all at once, not with noise, but with precision. This is how heaven moves when preparation has reached fullness. What you are stepping into is not sudden luck. It is delayed alignment, finally meeting readiness. Anointed One kingdom riches arrive differently than the world expects. They do not rush your soul. They do not steal your peace. They do not demand compromise to access them. When they come from heaven, they come with order, clarity, and protection. You will recognize this season not by chaos, but by calm authority rising within you. Chosen One. There is a reason your spirit feels steadier now. You are not grasping. You are not forcing. You are not panicking. That inner stillness is evidence that God has finished training you to hold weight without bending. When pressure increases externally, your internal world remains anchored. That is maturity. That is stewardship. Anointed One. I want you to understand something deeply. Elevation does not change who you are. It reveals who you have become. The solitude did not just prepare you to receive. It prepared you to remain, to stay humble, to stay obedient, to stay aligned when the environment around you shifts. Chosen One. Many people lose themselves when life accelerates. They forget the quiet that shaped them. They forget the lessons learned when no one was watching. You will not. The stillness is now part of your identity. It moves with you. It guards you. It informs every decision you make. Anointed One. This season will require you to trust what you sense more than what you see. There will be moments when movement increases, when options expand, when voices grow louder. Remember how you learned to listen in silence. That same discernment will guide you now. Heaven does not stop speaking when blessing begins. It speaks more precisely. Chosen One. Wealth in the kingdom is not about proving anything. You no longer need to show that you deserve it. Your life already testified. The nights you stayed faithful. The moments you chose obedience over escape. The times you waited when it hurt. Those were your credentials. Anointed One. There will be a temptation to rush once things begin to open. Resist it. The same God who taught you patience will teach you pacing. Speed without wisdom creates loss. Wisdom without fear creates longevity. You are being built for longevity. Chosen One. You will notice something else changing. Your relationship with pressure will feel different. Situations that once overwhelmed you no longer shake you the same way. You respond rather than react. You pause rather than panic. That is not emotional detachment. That is spiritual authority. Anointed One authority does not strive. It rests. It moves when prompted and waits when instructed. That posture will protect you as responsibilities increase. Heaven trusts you because you learned how to be faithful in small, quiet, unseen ways. Chosen One. The wealth you are stepping into is not just financial. It is relational clarity. It is emotional stability. It is spiritual authority. Money may be the visible expression, but alignment is the real gift. When alignment comes, provision follows naturally. Anointed One. I have learned that God does not overwhelm his servants with success. He introduces it gradually, testing response rather than capacity. He watches how you handle the first increase, the first open door, the first opportunity to choose integrity over convenience. You have been trained for those moments. Chosen One. Remember how solitude taught you to say no without fear. That skill will save you. Not every invitation is assignment. Not every opportunity is aligned. You are not behind for waiting. You are protected for discerning. Anointed One. The coming season will also test humility in new ways. Praise can be louder than criticism. Attention can be more distracting than opposition. Stay grounded. Return often to the stillness within. The same presence that met you in solitude will meet you in abundance. Chosen One. God is not elevating you to impress others. He is positioning you to serve with clarity. Kingdom riches are tools, not trophies. They are entrusted so that impact can extend beyond your own life. That understanding keeps the heart clean. Anointed One, do not be surprised if some people misunderstand your transition. They did not walk with you in the quiet. They did not see the pruning. They did not feel the weight of the waiting. You do not need to explain what God has done in you. Let fruit speak. Chosen One, there is also a grace coming with this season that will surprise you. You will find yourself less tired even when responsibilities increase. That is supernatural strength flowing from alignment. When God carries the weight, effort becomes lighter. Anointed One, remain attentive to peace. Peace will be your compass. When peace is present, you are aligned. When peace lifts, pause. Heaven is gentle in its guidance, but firm in its protection. Chosen One, the solitude was not something you passed through. It became part of who you are. That is why you will not lose yourself when life expands. You know how to return inward. You know how to listen. You know how to wait. Anointed One, what you are stepping into now is not fragile. It was built on patience, obedience, and trust. It will endure because it was formed correctly. Chosen One, carry forward everything the quiet taught you, the stillness, the restraint, the discernment. These will be your greatest assets in the season of increase. And as heaven releases what has been prepared, you will walk forward, not as someone chasing blessing, but as someone entrusted with it. Chosen One, as this word settles into your spirit, know that nothing about your journey has been wasted. Every quiet step, every hidden tear, every season of separation was woven into heaven's design for your elevation. You were not set aside, you were set apart. And now, in this sacred moment, the preparation gives way to release. Anointed One, I declare that a supernatural transfer is already in motion. What was forged in solitude is now being matched with divine supply. This is your Kairos moment, the appointed time where heaven and earth align on your behalf. Receive peace where there was pressure, clarity where there was confusion, and confidence where there was waiting. What God entrusts to you will not overwhelm you. It will move through you with purpose and grace. Stay faithful, stay aligned. Guard the stillness that shaped you and walk forward with gratitude for what is unfolding now. Let your heart remain soft, your discernment sharp, and your trust anchored in the One who called you. If this word bears witness in your spirit, remain connected to this flow. Subscribe as an act of alignment and share it with someone who needs confirmation today. And if you feel led, leave a quiet testimony below by commenting your city as a marker of where this anointing found you. Chosen One, go in peace. Heaven is moving, and you are ready.